Hello, this is Alan Brooks, and today what I wanted to talk about was the rapture. You know, I've been arguing and talking with people about the rapture all my life, and, I just wanted to ask everybody to talk to one another in a new way. I mean, I've had people recently say, if you don't believe in the pre-tribulation rapture, you're not even a Christian. Well, I'm just going to give you some ideas that I have and just want you to think about it. This is just a short teaching. And first of all, there's good points about the pre-tribulation rapture, which is, we should always be ready. We should all be acting like we're ready. We should be like the 10 virgins, We need to be ready for the coming of Jesus Christ at any moment. And that's a really good place to be. So I salute the pre-tribulation rapture for that teaching. It's not bad. That's a good place to be, right? Be ready for Christ's return. He even said in Matthew 24 that if you're not ready and not watching, that you're going to go to the place where the hypocrites go. Now, where's that? That's to hell. And that's another thing I'd like to point out to people. People go, Alan and my wife, Alan, stop teaching about this end time stuff. This is ridiculous. You don't need to be teaching about that. You need to concentrate on Jesus, getting people saved. I agree with that, sure. But Jesus was asked, what are the signs of your coming? And he didn't say, don't worry about it. There are no signs. He proceeded to give us a lot of the signs for a reason, because he said, I want you to be ready for my return, and he who endures to the end will be saved. So this means that there could be a strong delusion which will come and fool everybody, which is again in the scriptures, that people will be fooled by something. And so we need to always be talking about it, always be ready for the end of time. Right? I think that's a smart place to be. And so that's just something that people say that I think it's misguided, frankly. So anyway, like I said, the pre-tribulation rapture is good. We need to always be ready. And I've studied personally, I was saved actually because of reading The Late Great Planet of the Earth, which Al Lindsay believes in the pre-tribulation rapture. So, hey, it's a good thing. And, for all of you who believe in the pre, the mid, or the post, we need to all say, I think personally we should all just say, hey, let's all be ready. No matter what you believe, let's be ready for the return of Christ. That's what he said to be. But I look at it another way. I've had a few questions, which I've mentioned before, which there's one final 7-year period, and it's divided up into two parts, which a lot of people don't even stop to think about. And this 7 years starts with a peace treaty in Daniel 9:27. And so the first 3.5 years are peace, which falls right in line with what the entire Bible says. The entire Bible, which I've done something nobody else has done to my knowledge, is I've looked at the entire Old Testament. And the entire Old Testament says peace and invasion of Israel, a false peace and invasion of Israel, a false peace and invasion of Israel. And that's also what Paul said. Paul said the day of the Lord, which he said includes the rapture and the second coming of Christ. He said concerning the coming of Jesus Christ and our being gathered together with him, don't let anybody fool you concerning some letter or deed or word coming from us that the day of the Lord has happened. So people, the day of the Lord happens. The rapture happens on the day of the Lord, and the day of the Lord happens when people say peace. So I figured, as dumb as I am, as a trailer park Christian that I am, when can there be an invasion of Israel that interrupts a peace? It can't be at the end, because Jesus said there'll be so much distress and tribulation that unless those days are cut short, no life would be spared. And so I figured it could only be in the middle, as far as the invasion breaking the peace part. So that's just something to think about, is that there's a peace treaty. So why would we be raptured away from a time of peace? Someone said, well, there's a lot of bad stuff. Then because of the rapture, there's a peace treaty. Okay, really? I understand we're all trying. So I would look at it like we're all trying to understand the end of time. And if you're pre-wrath, which I lean towards because I've studied all these scriptures all my life, and in every place in the Bible, it's always the same sequence of events. Like if you had a book that predicted World War II, it would always have the same sequence of events. Pearl Harbor would start it. It would last 3.5 years. It would end with Hiroshima. And then there would be a peace treaty. Like that, the Bible always has the same sequence of events about the end of time. There's a peace treaty. Israel's invaded. It doesn't always say there'll be a 3.5 years where the Antichrist rules from Jerusalem, but we know that's going to happen. Revelation 11:2, Revelation 13. And so the real Bible says that the Antichrist rules for 3.5 years, then it's called the tribulation or the Great Tribulation. He rules for the second half of that 7 years, the final 7 years of Daniel 9:27. And then it says in Matthew 24, immediately after that tribulational period, or after that final 3.5 years, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give us light, the stars will fall, and Jesus Christ, the sign of the Son of Man, will appear in the heavens. A great trumpet will sound, and he will send forth his angels to gather his elect from one end of the heavens to the other. So, that's called the post-tribulation rapture, or the after the tribulation rapture, which, there is a rapture there. It's right there in the scriptures. You can't deny it. Now, you can say it's the tribulation saints, or whatever you want to say. And so my position is that everywhere in the scriptures that I look and see the rapture, in Isaiah 5, in Isaiah 26 and 27, it's after Jesus Christ comes back with the sun, moon, and stars darkened, just like Jesus said in Matthew 24. So in the scriptures, every time there's a rapture, it's after the tribulation. In Revelation 16:15, Jesus says, I'm coming like a thief. Keep your clothes clean. And we've all heard from all the people who believe in the rapture, I come like a thief. I come like a thief. I'm coming like a thief. So I can come at any moment. Well, it says there at Armageddon in Revelation 16, I come like a thief. But anyway, I'm not trying to argue about it. I'm trying to say that if you believe in the pre, I'm for it. And as you believe in the post or pre-wrath, you should say, I'm all for the pre-tribulation rapture. This would stop the arguing. Because, let's face it, we all should be for a pre-tribulation rapture. We all should be, for all just seeing the Lord coming back in the air. Right? And so that's all I wanted to say, is we shouldn't draw these battle lines in the sand and say, I'm this, I'm that. And if you don't believe that, you're not saved. I mean, come on, people. Let's get real. If you're post or pre-wrath like I am, for the most part, we should say, honestly, I'm for the pre-tribulation rapture. It's got its good points. People get saved because we should be ready at any moment. We shouldn't let our lives go to hell. We shouldn't be backsliding because, we need to be ready. That's a very good place to be. Okay? And then the pre-wrath, which is more in the scriptures, which is what I see everywhere, we should say, I believe in that, but I'm for the pre because it's a good place. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to believe in. And that would put everybody at ease and not draw these battle lines in the sand where everybody's arguing and saying all these nasty things about one another. And if you're mid, just forget it. That's crazy. The thing is, I'm just joking. You can have any position you want. But the bottom line is, Paul said, at the day that the rapture's a mystery. It happens at the last trumpet. Now, Revelation is filled with trumpets, right? And it says in Revelation 10 that the mystery of God is about to happen. And Paul said the mystery of God is the rapture. And then Revelation 11, the last trumpet blows, and the prophets are resurrected, which could be the resurrection before the rapture, people. Again, Matthew 24, after the tribulation, at a trumpet, the saints are gathered from all over the world, the elect. Now, another quick point is, Jesus said, unless those days are cut short, no life would be spared, but for the elect's sake, they will be cut short. Then he sends out the angels of Matthew 24 to gather the elect, which in the Greek means my favorite. So if you want to say they're tribulation saints, go right ahead. That's cool. I'm all for it. I'm for the pre-trib rapture, which, we should all be for it. We shouldn't argue. I'm pre-wrath. I lean that way, but I see your point. I'm for you. I stand with you, pre-trib people. And, that's what I'm trying to say. We all should say that. we shouldn't say, I'm pre-wrath, that's what the scriptures are, you jerk, you idiot, you dummy. How dare you believe in the pre-trib rapture? We should say, I believe in it. Let's go for it. I'm standing for it. But, just in case it doesn't come true, here are the reasons why you should be ready for the pre-wrath rapture. It's after the tribulation, the Bible says. Jesus said, he who stands firm to the end will be saved, which kind of means if you don't stand firm to the end, you won't be saved. Okay? So, again, that's just the position of everybody's heart. It should be, I'm for the pre-tribulation rapture, and even if the scriptures say something different, I want to stand with my brothers and not argue about everything every day of the week, okay? This is Alan Brooks signing off for another teaching. What should our position be about the rapture? Thank you all.